Hey, Lauren Hughes here with Integrity Home Group and Keller Williams Preferred. Let's talk about roofs. I got my first kind of intro to roofs when I was probably about 8 or 9 years old. I'm working with my grandfather again for allowance or extra spending money. And at this point in time, I'm pretty sure he didn't tell my parents what he was going to allow me to do, but he taught me the basics of getting on a roof, and he taught me how to get on a ladder, and at the time it was a wooden ladder, which I don't even think they really make those anymore, but it was a wooden ladder, and he told me when you walk up the horizontal part, you always keep at least, three body parts on the ladder at one time. So either if you're moving your feet, you have both hands, or if you're, moving your arms, you have both feet, and you walk on the outside of the rod and not to go in the middle, because when it was wood, they could break. And so, and keep in mind, I was pretty young, and this was in the late 80s, early 90s, so times are a little bit different now. Anyway, he taught me a little bit about how to climb on a roof, how to inspect a roof, and he was getting older, and so he wasn't able to do it anymore, so I got to do it, and then I made, I think, $10, which at the time, that was like a pot of gold right there. That was a lot better than pennies, counting pennies. So I used to get on the roof, and that was to clean gutters and to inspect his roof. And so my education on roofs, I wouldn't say is more from farm life than I would say a professional inspector. So I don't know all the terms. I just know what to look for on a roof. And so when I go into a home, one of the most important things is the integrity of the roof. So I still take those lessons that I learned from him, and I go look at the roofs today. I don't get on the ladders, but I do look out the windows and try to see the roof and look at it as well as I can. And Google Satellite actually can give you a decent view of the roof sometimes with some pretty good definition, which is surprising. It just kind of depends on when they took the picture and the area that you're in. So if you're in like a city or in town, you're at higher chance that it's a newer photo than if you're in a rural area. Anyway, one of the tips I learned, and so you can see like splotches or where a roof had been fixed. I actually have seen that on houses before through the Google Satellite. And anyway, so what I'm looking for with the roof is I'm looking for integrity changes or anything like I spy, like what's missing in this picture. Anything that looks a little off. So if there are like little bubbles, or if there are divots, or anything that looks like it's not uniform. And that's what my grandfather used to tell me when I was going to get on the roof to clean out the gutters. We'd first inspect the roof to make sure it was safe for me to walk on. And so that was what we were looking for. We were looking for to make sure the integrity of the roof was still there, and that, I wouldn't fall through the roof. And so good lessons to have, especially when you're 9, 10, 11, 12 years old. And it was only a single story, so it wasn't a high roof. But I'm sure my parents were not thrilled when they heard the story, or when I told them how excited I was that I had made $10. Anyway, so we're looking for integrity of the roof, and so the bubbles, and then also I got to speak to Jeff Keenan last week, a really great inspector, a home inspector, and he was telling me about hail damage too. And so my lessons kind of originate from Indiana. There's not a lot of hail in Indiana. Colorado, we get anything and everything in July. So hail happens, and big hail happens too, like golf balls. Like, you better get cover now and park your car in a garage, or you're gonna get dents. And same thing for your car, same thing as your roof. So you want to check for if any of like the gravelly stuff on the roof is coming off. So if the roof looks a little splotchy, or it looks like it has little golf ball holes all over the place, might be an indicator that there's hail damage. So thank you guys for tuning in. If you ever have any questions, I've learned a lot from just kind of life and experiences, and from buying and selling homes, and I kind of learn as I go. So if you guys ever have any questions or comments, my door is always open. Thank you guys.